Welcome back to Behind the Coil. I've been filming a video covering a power supply, desktop power supply, the build out basically, and I haven't liked how I've been having to do the lighting situation. So I took a look around. I've decided I'm going to build a bridge light. This is 3D printed files. I'll put those in the link below. This is off of Maker World. It's a pretty cool little system. Looks like it's just gonna kind of slide together. Well, I got another little setup here. I'm trying something new today as well. I got somewhat of a key light. We've got two cameras going. Don't know how the audio is gonna sync up between the two, but that's beyond the point. As we go, as we get better, as this channel grows, hopefully we'll get better at doing this stuff, right? So here on the other camera, you can kind of see how this mechanism here is gonna work. These channels will slide. I've got these cleaned up somewhat. We're still going to use a little burner, burn off all the fuzzies. So these are kind of somewhat clean. I wanted to save some of this other stuff so you get a good idea of how this is going to print. These are all the tree supports that we have to remove, and the bases. It's got two bases. The tree support on the bases, but also one of mine shifted. So this is the first base. This base is the first one that printed and did perfectly fine. All I did was hit reprint on the printer and this one came out. You could tell it shifted. During print, we had a shift. Now personally, I'm gonna try and use it. If it doesn't work, yes, I can reprint another one and make sure I put some alcohol in the bed, clean the bed for better adhesion. But this is just going to be something that I use for lighting when I'm doing recording on this desk, table, station, wherever I need to put it. So let's get this cleaned up a good bit. And these, you can just, most all tree supports you can just yank off and then get more detailed. There it goes. I just got a little box over to the side. Throw the big stuff in. There we go. That one's in there. So I think this is designed to look like a bridge, which is, that's pretty cool. And it's also, he did a good job designing it to where you could use just about any LED strips that you want. It's got a lot of room, so to speak. I actually scaled this down 15%. So this is setting at 85% of its actual designed scale. So we'll see if that works out. Calculation wise, it should. Oh, there we go. So just to give you an idea of how rough you can be with this stuff. I'm just getting in here and yanking it out, right? I haven't designed many things with the 3D printer. What little bit that I do design, I use Onshape. I do some stuff with board games as well, so I print a lot of inserts to organize the board games. I have a few designs up on Maker World as well. I can link my bio if you have a 3D printer. And well, come on. So the one that shifted here is actually a bit rougher. You can get a lot better view now. Look how much that shifted. That is a huge amount. So basically the base came loose from the bed. It lost adhesion. That's a 1/4 of an inch shift, and it still finished the print. It's actually pretty amazing. And these, I'm just using PLA. This is Sunlu PLA Plus. And I don't use anything as support material, so it's coming off real well. Now, obviously, the shift has caused some issues with some of it hanging, but it's not the designer's fault. It's my fault for not cleaning the bed more. We'll come back to that. So the way these are gonna be the same way. You just pop it. You can tell I'm not being gentle. I'm just yanking it inside and give it a good pull. There we go. It needs to be real well. They just fall out. So let me show you one of these real quick. Like I said, I've got these cleaned up further, and you can see, hopefully you can see the little fuzzies inside of here. So I just take this little torch real quick and then just cleans it all up. So I'm just gonna do that kind of over everything. Don't hit your fingers, obviously. So I'm not staying in one spot very long. Just kind of giving it a once over. So that's kind of what you're looking at afterwards. And obviously we want to try, before we start putting everything together, you just stick one of these in there and all the way through. Now the designer said you could also kind of clip it in. Yeah, that works really well. So you can literally put the entire frame together and then start inserting, weaving your LED strips. This is a 2-channel, so I'll have 2 LED strips providing me with light, and you can clip that in. So I actually want to look and see what else he has, because this stuff has turned out pretty well so far. So this one's fully deburred is what we'll call it. I have a machinist background, and that's what I call. Now this one, we pulled the tree support off of, but there's still going to be some cleanup that we have to do for my liking. You don't have to do this. You can just pull it off and use it the way it is. But I like to get in and clean up these burrs and these stragglers. That has more to do with my original profession background. I'm no longer a machinist. It's kind of how I got into the pinball. So up until 2017, I had never even played a pinball machine. Growing up, we didn't have, there was an arcade, there was a Pizza Hut. There was a Pizza Hut, and it had some pinball machines in it, apparently. My wife grew up in the same town that I did, and they went to the Pizza Hut, but we did not. Oh, I poked myself. Now I gotta fill out a form. So she grew up playing pinball. I did not. And then we were celebrating, I think, our 5-year anniversary. And we were in St. Louis, at a barbecue joint, and they had an Elvis pinball machine off in the corner. And she mentioned, oh, I used to play those all the time as a kid. I was like, yeah, I played one on the computer. I've never played one in person. So she had me play. And I liked the mechanical side of it. You know, there's a steel ball flailing around, hitting stuff. And I played video games growing up. So for me, it was something that I could bridge the gap between no longer machining, moving into management, and wanting to create things with my hands. I miss the making, I guess you would call it. And that kind of filled that void, repairing pinball machines, and it just kind of grew from there. And now I've got a small customer base that keeps growing, and more, they keep making machines, so why not? So I just use this to deburr. Obviously, don't poke yourself like I did. So what I'm going to do is get everything cleaned up, deburred, and you know, torched, so to speak. And we'll come back with more of an install, putting this thing together. We'll learn, because obviously I haven't done it. I just printed it. We'll see how well everything goes together, what areas that you, if you do this project, that you could do better or be easier. It might just be put it together and plug it up. And that depends on your LED strip, but you get the gist there. And we'll find out if this base that moved is gonna work, which it will, because all we really need is the hole for to get the power to the strip. Everything else should be fine. All right, we're finishing up with the deburr process for these channels. We've got all the railing system and the feet deburred and defuzzied. I'm being really, really easy with these because these are pretty thin. And I'm just, you know, knocking just some of the fuzz off. And again, don't hit your fingers. It is hot. I bet I could do all these at one time. I can actually feel the plastic swell when I hit it with that heat. So I don't know if this is going to be enough. I've got some more rolls, but I don't think they're the same tone. Whether these are daylight or warm white, I got a couple different ones. So let's power them, see just what we're going to get. And this is again why I love having the benchtop power supply. So these are a natural white. These are going to be a daylight. We'll see how much of this we have once we get this frame built, and then figure out what we're going to use. Obviously, it'd be more ideal if you're using the cob style. That's one, it seems like it's one long LED. But as easy as these things are going to slide in and out, I mean, you can see and you can see them. We could change out the LEDs every 3 days if you want to. It's going to be a good process. This is a really good design. So with that, let's see how they're going to actually go together. So there is a right and left feet. That way you can do your wiring. That's what the right and the left are for, is for the wiring. You know, this is a female, this is a male. So it just denotes which way you're going to be going with that. And I'm gonna say it's probably gonna go this way. I think he's got some pictures on the design, on the, yeah, this is all slip fit. That's really nice. And if you want to take it apart, it all comes apart. So we'll kind of work this together. Just put it together and see what it's going to look like. Some of these may need to be a little bit more deburred. Yeah, probably so. Oh. All right, let's see if we're going to have to, yeah. Which is fine. You got, because this is, the reason this is happening is because I scaled it down 15%. So the original size is designed to be that a tight slip fit. And because we scaled everything down, that it's not going to work the same way as designed. So there is going to be some slight differences. So what I'm going to have to do is take a little bit sandpaper, some sanding, just hit some of these edges. As you can tell, I mean, if I really just went to town, you know, made that go in, it's going to go. But if I want to be able to take this and put it, maybe I want to take it down and store it or move it. I want to be able to have that slip fit design. I put that one together pretty good. So I'm going to work on that. And then once I just condition these, I'm just going to take some sandpaper and come in here and condition all these mating points. And then we'll come back to it. Let's say deburring these into place didn't go so well. I spent about 45 minutes filing down the edges. I got about 2 of them to go pretty good, and I got the rubber mallet out. So that actually tells us that this design is really strong because I just rubber malleted everything and it went together really well. So if you're gonna print this and you need the smaller footprint, it's 140 centimeters is the original design. I scaled it down to 120, which is what this table is. So that's why I scaled it down to 85%. If you don't scale it down, you're not going to have these issues. The author also has some fitment test files, so tolerance test files that you can print. Probably would have been a good idea, but here on Behind the Coil, we just get the hammer out sometimes. With that though, we're going to move on to the actual lighting. So I've got about half of this already strung up on one strand, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're working with here. It just slides in. I'm just kind of laying it out, getting to get a feel about where I want to make my cut. I want this to kind of hang out a bit past, because I know I'm going to go down through the leg. So if I'm going to be here, I'm going to have 2 or 3 lights pass. That's going to give me plenty of tolerance for when I come around and make my other cuts. All right, so I'll just follow it around. And I'll do the same here. Actually, my portion to cut comes past anyway. So I have quite a bit. I may go one more. I'm gonna go one further. Oh, there we go. So I'll go that one further, and that'll give me extra on both ends. So we'll run power in this side, and then we'll jump power on this side, and then come back with our other strand. And how these work is it's super simple, right? You're just running these in, and there's plenty, even scaled down 85 to 85%. There's plenty. This is the IP, the waterproof kind as well, the outdoors. So it has that silicone type covering on it, and they fit in just fine. So no issues there. And that's why I said the ones where it has looks like it's a single LED strip light, it'll give you a better look. I'm not really going to be looking at it very much. I want light, but you can kind of see, you can see through that transparent. So if you want to use this in a video, sure, spend some extra money. These are just some LED strips that I've picked up at different estate sales and, you know, discount stores, whatever the case is. I just need some light when I'm doing my projects. So that's what we're going to do with that. So what I'll do now, I'm going to get this run in the channel, and we'll pop back in whenever I get to that point. And like I said, these, I'll just flip it up here, because this actually really is sturdy. So, I mean, it sits. So the way these are going to work on this, pretty sure that's in the frame, is I'm just going to work on clipping it in like that, because it's got flex. And if you wanted to, you know, from the end, you could run, you know, push it. It's a really good design. So we'll pop back in whenever I've got the transparent covers and the LED strips in, and then we'll pick up on the leg install and shooting some power into it. So let's get these pads tinned up. Because these are the waterproof or resistant coatings, I'm going to do all my soldering from the back side. Just makes it a lot easier. I want to tin these little copper pads up before we get wire anywhere near it. So that's got our pads tinned. Need to tin I cut these little bits of wire. We'll use it. So the fun part is going to be getting all this to work out the way we want to. I'm not using the thinnest wire available. So we got positive, positive. So positives are opposite each other, right? So this is going to want to span the entire gap. So what I'm going to do is finagle a way to hold it and not burn my fingers. Okay. No, it's not working. Don't move on me. I really don't want to use really thin wire. This wire's not wanting to cooperate with me. Let me try it the other way. The old burn your fingers trick. Yeah. Works every time. And I kind of want this positive, or the power wire, to hold everything together. Hot, 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 hot. I'm gapped a little bit more than I wanted to be. You can see it's kind of holding it spread, but let me see what this gap is going to look like. Yeah, we'll get this in, and then we'll see what kind of manipulation we can get out of it. All right, so that's some pretty good bondage there. So what I'm going to do is hold everything and kind of fold it onto itself. Yeah, that gets that gap down. Because this is just gonna, I'm just gonna feed this into the foot. So this foot, I should be able to just feed it. Maybe. If I could see it, huh? That rubberized coating is holding on pretty good. It does taper in there a good bit. All right, let me work on that. I ended up having to shorten it up one more segment so that I can fold it into this little cubby hole, and then it fits into the leg or the foot with no problem. So that's what you gotta do. Well, it works. The LED strips that I have, I don't know, it looks more blue purple, purple blue. I'll be getting some different strips, but I can see it's not the tone of light that I want. Um, it looks good. It's going to work good, but I'm going to have to get some different LED strips, which is, it's okay. It's no big deal. These just aren't going to work out the way that I think we would have hoped. So I've been kind of using this light as a key light. If I turn that on, completely different. That's more of a probably 5,000 tone. It's not daylight, but it's not warm. Kind of probably 5,500. I don't know what this is. A spectrum of light that I don't like. But the light bridge, we're gonna get it corrected. We'll get this thing with different strips in it and ones that we can be proud of. And the off-kiltered foot works fine, no problem. So I'll come back whenever I have these strips updated. I'm not going to upload this video until I have that done, simply because this isn't worth posting at the moment. We will post failures, but we'll post those failures. If we can fix them, we'll post the solution as well. So stay tuned. The light is not, it's just kind of trying to get a different viewpoint of it. This is a red handled pair of snips. If I turn on that key light, you can kind of tell. Well, there it goes. This is a obviously yellow. It just didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Yeah. It has been a number of days now. I don't exactly remember how many, but our LED strips are in. Hopefully they won't look blue or purple, however the light come across. To me, it looked a bit more bluish. We're going to be using LED strips from BTW Lighting. These are kind of, I don't want to say popular, but well known, so to speak. These are 520 LEDs per meter, so I went big. We're looking at 16.4 feet, so 5 meters. 10 millimeter on the width. I believe it's the same. 12 volt, and I believe this can go up to 10 amps. Yeah, 12 volt, 5 meters, 10 millimeter width. It says max power of 14 watts per meter and 520 LEDs per meter with output voltage up to 10 amps apparently towards the back. Pretty good packaging. Let's see if you can see that there. I'm holding the microphone. I'm hoping this might be the last video that I use this microphone with. I'm trying to get, well, I'm not trying. I'm going to wait. It looks like once per month, the Hollyland Lark Max 2 goes on sale on Amazon once a month. So I'm trying to wait for that to get a better microphone system. I had a previous video where this apparently died, the battery, and I didn't even know it. And the iPhone doesn't just pick back up where it left off. It just doesn't record audio. So I'm trying to keep a little bit better eye on it this time. But this video, we will have a little bit different. We won't be doing a lot of talking head, so to speak. You've already watched me put all of this together, wire it, solder it, power it. It just didn't have the right hue. So what we're going to do is change this out to what should hopefully be a better color tone. And then I'll come back and we'll do some more voiceover. But we'll do a little speed up. Not really a time lapse. The time lapse is a bit choppy. I'll just take a full video and then I'll just speed it up. That way it's more smooth. More smooth, much smoother. It's smoother. Yeah, whatever. I'll figure that out in post, which one I want to use. So I've got the soldering iron heated up. Unfortunately, it is on my left side. I am right-handed, but the way I have this setup going right now, so that you can have the cool background, right? And everything. It's only cool if you think it's cool. I have to have it on the left for the power. I'm trying to figure out how I want to set things up to get a better inside shooting scenario. When we're in the shop, it'll just kind of be all over the place. It's just how shop shooting works. When I need to use my benchtop power supply and the soldering station, I prefer it on my right, but the way the layout is of the room, I don't want to run extension cords to these type of devices just because of the power draw sometimes. It's not going to hurt anything, but I don't like to do it. So we'll make do and we'll get started. So I'll pick back up with the audio once we're on the other side of getting this out. Won't be too hard though. We'll get these out. We'll string it back with the new stuff and we'll solder up. So I'm going to take a minute here just to kind of go over this BTF lighting strip. See if I can put that somewhere you might be able to see it. Probably not. Yeah, whatever. Pretty quality stock of this. Gives you a manual. You can download a digital manual. Maybe I'm still enough. If you need that QR code, you can use it. It's a dimming LED strip, FCOB-PWM-DIM-02-ML. A pretty big product name. This gives you some good information here. Match the LED strip voltage to the neutral in the line. Of course, if you're doing dimmable, you're going to run a dimmer in line. They show some different tools. You can cut it. It'll have cut marks. Yeah. Looks like they provide some extensions. Yeah. So in the bag, they provide 2 extensions. So if you needed to connect more of these together, you could. That's nice that they provide that. You just need to make sure that when you do that, the 2 strips are correct for positive and negative. You get 3 screws and 3 mounting tabs. So, not that many. But of course it is supposed to be sticky backed itself. I opted for this one because it comes with a power adapter already connected, so it's one less solder I have to do, and it came with some additional wire, so when I know I'm going to have to cut it, and it comes with its own wire to do some more connections, so that's pretty good there too. Yeah, I wanted to kind of, oh hang on, there's another end. Let's get it unrolled. Not quite 5 meters on the roll. Come here. I like that storage system there though. Okay, so if you bought multiple, if you needed to have a pretty good run, you could buy multiple. Where'd the other end go? If you didn't have to cut them, you'd be able to just connect one end into the other. So this actually gives me more options if I have male power ends or if I have a female power end, I have both options. Good information here on the tag, 12 volt, gives us the model number. Make sure to connect to a class 2 power supply. That still doesn't give us the amps here clearly. The back of the bag said up to 10. This is also not as thick as the other because this isn't an outdoor rated strip. I made sure to get an indoor rated strip so I would have to fill with barely fitting in. But at 580 LEDs a meter, this thing is going to be very, very, I'm not going to get the LED dots that you might see. It's going to be really, really nice. And this was only 12 bucks, maybe 14. I'll put a link in the description. With the way some of these, you need to make sure which way the power goes. Quick thinking, it'd be nice to be able to cut it, put this on the side that needs to connect together, and then put power in on the other side, but I'll figure that out. That's not the best. It's just easier that way. So it's not the best way. Let's see. Before we go to cutting, let's power it. I have run an extension cord just to test the power. And this big old thing wouldn't fit on the power that I'm using over here. It just wouldn't fit in. This is a 12 volt 2 amp output, the switching power supply. Let's see, is it going to be the right color tone, or is it going to work? Hey, I like that a lot better. That is a much, just so clean. You can't see the LEDs in there. If I move it, my eyes can catch them, but just focusing on it, I can't make them out. It's not blue either. Nice. Well, now everything seems dark. Well, I guess we know which side we're going to keep for powering. This side's going to have to come off. I think what I'll do is, instead of lopping that off just yet, I'm just going to measure this out because we know this one was the right length. We'll cut it there. I know we're going to have a little bit left over. So let's say we have this much left over. I'll just leave this connected. Maybe we'll find some use for it. Who knows? Let's see how bad I've made things. All right, so I've come up with here. I'm going to go one extra just to be safe. I'm going to have to get some scissors. I've got scissors. I don't want to measure that out again. I made a little notch. There it is. I made a little notch with the razor blade. And then we'll just go back the other way. And we're going to have quite a bit left. So one more. That would be one more plus the one more, right? We'll go back one. We'll actually have this much left to do another project with. And leaving this side, when I do go back to this, I know what my power requirements are. We know the power requirements now. We're going to use it in this project. We've already got a power supply for this project. When I pick this strip back up, yes, I'm going to know it's 12 volt. This is going to have our model number and some other information on it. So that's could be handy in the future. Okay. So we'll want our power on the left side, and we want to match them up on the right side. And since these are a bit smaller, I'm going to try and do this at the same time. I'm wondering, I'm going to run it in a way where if I was to put these together, it'd be positive and negative matches. So I'm just going to, that's where we cut it. We're just going to run it side by side. So I'll have negative to the negative, the positive around to the other positive. Let's see how this is going to go. Much easier. That was a much easier process. These are much smaller on the width side or thickness side. Let's see, let's solder it up before we do that. Yeah, I'll even be able to work quite easily with the solder. Not gonna need much. We need a nice little U. I want this one to be a little bit longer to wrap around the negative wire. Trying to stay out of the vicinity of the smoke. Still have not developed solder extractor that I like yet. Run out of holding my breath. Make sure you always give a good tug. You want to know you got a good solid connection. Just trying to shape it the way I want it with a U. Use the tools at my disposal. Try and keep my fingers less hot. Doesn't work. Hot. Alright, that's pretty good and solid. Because it has a barrel plug on it, I'm gonna have to drill this out. Not a big deal. We've got our foot modified. Don't know how well you might be able to see because I can't see what you're seeing until I'm editing. So basically what I did was use a very large bit. It's the largest bit in the Harbor Freight 1999 drill bit set, actually. But I run the drill bit backwards. So with 3D printing, a lot of times you can't really drill it depending on how you do your support structures inside, your infill. So if you run the drill backwards, you basically just kind of melt your way through. And it doesn't really do much of nothing to the drill bit simply because it's plastic. One thing that I'd like to do with blind holes, I'm going to call this a blind hole because you can't see it from this side. It's really a through hole with a blind bottom. I use a jab saw. This is just a cobalt jab saw. So basically, you would jab this in to like drywall mostly. You jab it in. On this direction, you don't really get any cutting. So I can grab that and go all the way across. Let's see. So you can kind of, it doesn't do anything. But if I try to grab it and push the other way, it is going to cut me. The spiral here is just to help get into the drywall. So basically you're kind of going to be just jabbing and sawing, right? I haven't seen this on Criminal Minds or anything. That's usually they just say ice pick. Well, there's a good episode idea. Find out what the weapon is. Anyways, back to the video. I just use this kind of deburr the hole and fine tune. So because this is a 5.5, I think it's 5.5 millimeter barrel plug, I just want to make sure that I'm going to get through there with no problems, because I have to get through there and leave a little bit of space for the other, just for niceties, right? I want everything to be nice and plenty of room. So that's kind of what the process was I did with that. Let's get this foot on. I do have some gapping. Thing looks fine. I've got maybe a 1/4 inch that I need to work out. Yeah. Best thing to do with this one is cut it off. You ain't got to worry about it. I really like to find where this spacing comes from. Yeah, it's kind of crushing it here. And one additional modification. The arch, one side has a cutout, the other side doesn't. I'm supposed to put the cutout side with the barrel plug side, and I didn't. So we're going to double check that everything is nice and happy. It is not. We're only getting one side lit up. Oh, I knocked the side off. Should have named this channel Do Everything 2 and 3 times. So far, that's what we do. Oh yes, I plan to sit here until it heats up. You can hang with me. We can be frustrated together, right? I did find some key lights. It's very bright in my eyes, but I'm hoping that your view is a little bit better, especially whenever I can get some new microphones. I don't like these. It's pretty fast. I have a feeling I crushed it on the bottom of this. I'm going to try and just squeeze it in. I'm going to let it sit inside the cavity, so it has no ability to hit that now. Okay, you don't need to see the atrocity of what that hack job is, because you're not going to do what I did. You're going to do the right thing and put it on the right side. This leg has a slot in it. This leg does not. Or end. These are feet, leg. So don't do what I did. We did it right the first time. We didn't do it right the second time. Let's see how it goes. Better yet, let's check it first. Might be too bright. No one ever said that about me. Never got he's too bright. Shove that in there. Yeah, that's what it was. Fully seated that time. Looks like it kind of pushed. What I'll end up doing with this is put in some little clamps. I actually might 3D print some clamps. I'm going to put a power strip on the back of this thing, I think. It's a bit small, but it's what we're working with. So now this little barrel will hang out the side of our leg over here, which is fine. And doesn't really matter which side. So since my power is on this side, put the leg on this side. And I think what I'll do, once I test it out a little bit, use it a couple times, if I'm happy with it, I'll probably just put some super glue, not inside these feet, but kind of at the edges, just so that they kind of stay. They seem pretty sturdy. Let's see if the little iPhone, whatever number it is, can keep up. Oh, that's so much better. This is what I was going for last time. You can't see the arch, I don't think. You shouldn't be able to. The way I measured everything out, you shouldn't be able to see the arch. You should just see clean light. And some adjustability that I have with this is if I need, of course, I need to figure out a way to monitor the iPhone camera, but I can pull it towards me, push it away. I can control the light. I was going to use this to help with some key lighting, and then I ended up picking these two key lights up. I had to check it again. Newer key lights. This is the first time I've used them, so I still got a lot of learning to do with proper lighting. Right now, I'm kind of squinting my eyes because I've got all this on, key lights, and it's little starry. We're learning. I'm watching some other videos to try and learn a little bit more here and there, and that's where we're kind of going with the mics. These are terrible. They're better than the iPhone camera where I'm positioned, especially in the shop. In here, I could probably get away with it. They're better than nothing, but I'm really going to look to get some, what was it now? Hollyland Lark Max 2. I don't think I want to get the ones with there's a bundle that comes with monitors. You can listen to yourself talk. Probably should, because I do have some ideas for a little series for the channel that I would probably benefit greatly from having it. Probably need to just go ahead and get it. That way I can monitor the audio, right? So let's see if we can find. I need to put something here, right? So you can see. What could we put here? Let me find something.